So thank you for doing this. I'm grateful that we get to connect and hang out together and solve your most pressing challenge at the moment. So
Yes.
just for the sake of our audience members, people who are tuned in, I'd love for you to share a little bit more about yourself. So maybe we can start with your origin story, and
Okay.
in like just about 60 seconds or so, tell us a little bit more about what inspired you to get into the health and wellness space.
Yeah. Well, it's as most coaches do. It's a personal, of course, a personal story. I spent years suffering from abdominal pain, bloating, multiple chronic infections, and got absolutely no resolution, no help from the standard medical care, except for more and more antibiotics and more referrals to specialists, and just being told it was part of aging or it was stress or there. And I just did not, I would not accept that. I would not accept that I had to feel like that for the rest of my life. So I took my health into my own hands. I knew that functional medicine was what I wanted to pursue just from doing my own digging and research. So it took me a couple of years, but I took out a personal loan to take my first functional medicine course. I found a local functional medicine practitioner to work with. And in the process of doing that, we did a lot of work on my gut health. We found a lot of underlying different infections, and when I was speaking with her, I finally felt hope for the first time in a very, very long time. And that's powerful. Having hope when you have so many chronic issues is powerful. And I knew, yes, this is where I want to be. I want to help people see that there is another way, help them know that there is hope in their healing journey. And after working with her for a bit, I lost a pant size. I was not laying on a heating pad 4 or 5 nights a week anymore because I had such bad abdominal pain. My fatigue and my brain fog were almost non-existent. I wasn't having anxiety or panic attacks anymore, and I just felt like I had a new lease on life and knew that this is where I want to be. So that was what pushed me into, yes, coaching, and in this, functional space is where I want to be. I currently work in the standard medical field. I've been in radiology for my entire career, trying to transition out of that into coaching. Knew it was going to be hard, but didn't think it was going to be this hard.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. What would you say are some of the challenges that you've encountered? Clearly, you're passionate. Clearly, you have a story of transformation,
Mhm.
and you've experienced the benefits of what you have to offer to the world. What's been the biggest challenge? Is it getting clear on your message? Is it finding the right people? Is it getting people to say yes? Is it getting people
Yeah.
better? What are you finding
Yeah.
the most challenging part?
It's a lot. First, I felt like it was time because, evenings and weekends are the only time I have to spend on doing this. And also imposter syndrome, which I know a lot of people have. Finding the right people. Most people that I saw that I was attracting, and this is because I've evolved a little bit over the few years that I've been doing this. So, originally it was people for weight loss, weight loss, weight loss. They just wanted weight loss. They wanted to count their calories, count their macros, and that is such a minuscule piece of your health that I struggled coaching them. I took them on as clients, new coach, I'll take you, come with me, I'll help you. And so I feel like I struggled to get them results because their approach didn't resonate with me.
Hmm.
So now, I'm more geared toward, the folks that are going to 6 different specialists and still not getting answers, and um, not necessarily, hey, I need to lose 10 pounds before my class reunion. And so it's finding the people that are ready, because most of the people in this subset, a lot of them have already tried several things, right? They've already tried the standard approaches. They've maybe tried 2 or 3 other coaches, and they feel, a little leery about investing again because they've already invested so much time and energy. So messaging has always been huge for me. I just want to tell everybody everything I know, but that doesn't bring in your ideal client. They don't care about how much you know, really. They want to know if you can get them results.
Hmm.
So I have a lot of experience in getting people little results, but no huge transformations. And currently I'm just finding trouble finding those people that are the right fit, that are willing to do the type of work that they need to do, and not just, do another short-term quick fix.
Okay, got it. Um, and right now, how are you putting your message out there? Are you using social media? Are you doing paid ads?
Social media, email. I have a very, very small email list, but and I also am advertising in a local magazine.
Okay.
Yeah,
So since you're spending money on the advertising, I'd be
yeah.
curious as to what the messaging is in the ad. Do you
Mhm.
recall what it says or who it speaks to?
I don't remember. I had just done it again the first of the year, and it talks about, no more band-aids or quick fixes. And, if you want to get to the root, this is, these are the steps, or this is what we do together, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. And if you had a home run client, what
Mhm.
problem do you feel like you can knock out of the park?
I got health. I mean, I have just worked with, I did run a 6-week group course that I called Gut Health Foundations, and everybody in that course got results.
Okay.
Better sleep, less anxiety, better digestion. So everybody got results.
Wonderful. And how do these people find you?
They were a friend of a friend. I had a couple of family members refer their friends. And then I had one other coach that allowed me to do a presentation in her Facebook group, and I got a couple of people from that group.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then did you ask for referrals for your next group or next round of
I did
folks?
not. I did not. No, no. I was
Okay.
trying. Yeah, I want to revise it a little bit, because I did get some great feedback from them as
Hmm.
far as what they would prefer more of, would have preferred more or less of in that course. So I'm currently looking at revising it to, because there were a lot of similar suggestions, more audio content, um, you know, maybe a little bit more time to get through the content. So, I'm looking at expanding it to a longer than 6-week course.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like people got great results,
Yeah.
and perhaps what I would suggest is how do you upgrade those people who want to work with you longer? So
Yeah.
maybe there's people who want to work with you one on one. Maybe there's
Mm-hmm.
people who want to dive a little bit deeper. If you're able
Mm-hmm.
to order lab testing, I'm sure there's people that would probably want to look into their gut health a little bit more closely, and address, some of the deeper rooted issues like pathogens or
Mm-hmm.
dysbiosis or enzymatic insufficiencies,
Mm-hmm.
inflammatory issues that they might be encountering. So my recommendation would be, when you have a 6-week program, that could be a great primer, and that might be really helpful for some people, but there might be people that want to go deeper, right?
Right.
And they're saying, hey, we want more time with you,
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah.
essentially what they're saying. And we want to be able to engage with your content in an easier way.
Right.
Whenever I suggest, whenever I encourage people to record content, I always encourage them, even if it's a video, I encourage them to assume that somebody's going to listen to it and not be able to
Mm-hmm.
see their slides. So
Yeah.
that way, you can tell people, hey, listen to this while you're in the car, because
Mm-hmm.
people's ears have more time than their eyes. And
Right.
so,
Yes.
that's the feedback you're receiving. So how do we
Mm-hmm.
create the content in such a way that if you were to pull out the audio file of the same recording,
Mm-hmm.
it's equally as valuable to that person, right?
Right.
So think of Joe Rogan in a podcast, or
Mm-hmm.
think of any
Yep.
podcaster, right? They have a
Yep.
podcast, and then they strip out the audio from that video podcast interview, and then that gets repurposed. So
Mm-hmm.
people who are watching, so you have two different ways to consume the same content. And
Right.
so that would be just, you could even take maybe perhaps a content that you've already created and just strip out the audio, and then repackage it as an audio file, so they have the
Hmm.
option of doing one versus the other,
Yeah.
or they could do both if they want. So that would be one recommendation. So
Hmm.
what I would do is, if you haven't done this already, did you get testimonials from these people?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
And where did they leave those testimonials?
I had a Google Doc for them to fill out.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've
Uh,
got some that I've posted, I post them on social media
okay.
here and there.
Do you have a Google business page?
I do, but I'll be honest, I haven't looked at it in a very long time.
Okay. So that's a bit of your homework, right? Because
Yeah.
you want testimonials to kind of live forever somewhere.
Hmm.
And if you're posting them on social media, I think that's great. However, what I would encourage you to do is get people to post them directly on your Google page.
Okay.
So then, you have, they've by default given you permission to share because it's on a
Hmm.
public page, so you don't have to ask for permission.
Hmm.
And two, it's going to help increase your Google rankings. And when people, if people hear your name or it comes up and they search you, they're going to go to your page and they're going to see, oh my God, she's got like 30 reviews or whatever that number is.
Okay.
And then that just helps build credibility. So when
Mhm.
they contact you, like some of that heavy lifting of the trust part is done for you, right? Versus if they
Yeah.
go there, and if you haven't been there, then I want to encourage you to go there because
Yeah.
sometimes the information might be outdated or the
Hmm.
hours might
Yeah.
not be correct, or
Yeah.
make sure all the links and everything work because there might even be people looking for you right
Yeah.
now that may be getting
You're exactly
information
right.
that is not
Yeah.
correct. So
Yep.
so
Okay.
that's kind of your first order of homework, is just making
Got
sure
it.
your Google page is updated,
Okay.
and then the reviews are there, right?
Okay.
Because like it's when you post something, when somebody fills out a document or they give you a written testimonial,
Hmm.
um, that's not searchable by the average person.
Right.
And so that's like a one way kind of dead end testimonial, because then it's relying
Hmm.
on you to put it out there versus
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
post it on Google, now they posted it publicly. So more people are going to organically see it, but then also you can pull that down, extract it, and put it anywhere else you choose to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a really simple tip for you.
This seems so rudimentary, and I didn't even I didn't even think about it.
Well, I mean, it usually is, right? And then
Hmm.
what I would also do is, keep in mind that there's going to be people that have used your services, and then there's other people that may not have. You can also get character references too. So people who've known you for years and you know believe in what you do or believe in what you have to offer. Those are people that can also leave character references, and maybe even there's people that may be inspired by what you're posting on social media, and maybe they've applied it, never been a patient of yours or a client of
Hmm.
yours, but they're still benefiting from your knowledge, right? They wouldn't have
Okay.
acquired that skill set or capability or
Hmm.
awareness had it not been for your business existing. So it's still
Hmm.
an extension of your business, whether it's free
Okay.
content or whether it's something that people have paid for. So you can even go on social media and say, hey, like if you've been enjoying my posts, one of the ways that you can, one of the ways that you could really help me out is by sharing a 5-star review on Google so that others can
Okay.
become more aware of what we have to offer. So some of my best case studies are people that have never become patients.
Oh,
They've
that's
just,
awesome.
they've taken the information, they've ran with it, they've applied it, and and they get amazing results. So that
Okay.
doesn't make them any less of a testimonial than
Mhm.
somebody who's paid me, right? Because in order for them to acquire that knowledge, my business had to exist,
Okay.
right?
I
So
hadn't given that a thought. Yeah.
yeah, so we're not telling them to say, "Hey, I was
Yeah.
a patient," when they weren't. We're just saying, "Hey,
Hmm.
Rebecca provides me with valuable knowledge and information, and it's done X, Y, Z for my health, and I endorse her and recommend her to anyone." It, so just something to kind of take into consideration
Okay.
when you're collecting testimonials. Right.
Great.
And another tip that I can offer you is the people that have gone through your program, the 6 week program, is just
Hmm.
simply emailing them and saying, "Hey, like I'm launching another cohort. Do you know anyone else who would benefit from this program? And if so,
Okay.
I'd love for you to, send me an email introduction or connect me with them so that I can reach out to them. And because they're your referral, we'll give them a special price as well."
Okay.
Right. So that
Yeah.
could be another way. And then when you put people through the 6 week program, are there any supplements or products that you put them on?
No, not in that program. No.
Okay.
No.
So I would consider that,
Hmm.
even if it's like something as simple as a probiotic,
Hmm.
um, that so then there's some recurring revenue for you, but more
Yeah.
importantly, they're getting results, right? And they're
Hmm.
kind of reestablishing a healthy microbiome. So if there's some long-term maintenance products that you suggest, then I would
Hmm.
recommend that. And then you mentioned that you're working full time.
Yes.
So are you and I would also imagine that there's probably people that you work with that have some health challenges or need some of your guidance and support.
Hmm.
Are they aware that you do this work as well, or is that
They
something that you
are,
separate?
but I don't think all of them are. A few of them, because we have a lot of new employees. I've been there a very long time, and there's probably only three other people out of the 20 that work there that have been there as long as I have, so they may not know
Okay.
what I do.
Are you able to do lunch and learns or anything like that?
No, no, not where I work. No.
Okay. Are you able to, is there like a what do you call it? Like a board that you can put information on or not?
No. No. I could
Okay.
ask. Yeah. I
Yeah, I'm
mean, I
just
could
wondering if
ask.
there's like
Yeah.
a bulletin
Yeah.
board or something where you can share, like
Hmm.
even if it's
Just
like,
even on the break room table, put something on, a
yeah, like
flyer or something. Yeah.
helpful tips for better digestion,
Yeah.
right? It could be like
Yeah.
a little flyer with a QR code that they scan, and
Yeah.
it takes them to your website, or it takes them to an article that you've written, or maybe it takes them directly to an audio recording
Right.
that can be helpful for them. And one of the best questions that you can ask people is, "Hey, I don't know if this is for you or someone that you love, but
Hmm.
I'm doing XYZ, and I'd love to know if there's any way I can, I'd love to know if there's any way I can support that person." So at least sometimes we don't want to assume that the person is struggling with a challenge. So just by saying, "Hey, I don't know if this is for you or
Hmm.
someone that you love," then they're not taking any of that personally.
Okay.
And I did have a chance to look at your website.
Hmm.
Just spent a few minutes on it, and I know that your goal is, from what our conversation has been so far, is helping people with gut health. So,
Hmm.
is it okay if I pull up your website for a minute?
Sure.
Okay. So, what I would encourage you to do is, so when I come to your website, um, okay, so I love this picture, but this is the most valuable real estate on your website.
Okay.
Because if you're sending people to your homepage, and maybe you're not, but if you are sending people to your homepage, then this has to do a lot of heavy lifting for you.
Okay.
And it's also got to, be very clear to me that I'm in the right place. So as soon as
Okay.
I come here, if I had a digestive issue, I wouldn't know that necessarily right off the bat.
Hmm. Okay.
Right. So I need, like, you want people to know that they're in the right place at the right time, and this is the right website for them.
Okay.
So what I would put here is something like some sort of statement,
Okay.
right, that is very clear to this person that they're in the right place. So it might say something like, "I help people with incurable digestive issues." And I'm just making that up.
Yeah.
But the thought exercise would be, okay, I'm in the right place, right?
Okay.
And then ideally what you want to have in your on your page here is you want to have a image of your ideal client achieving the result that you help them with.
Okay.
Okay. So when I come here, um, you have to assume that people can't read. Okay. So our eyes will see images faster than they can read words.
Okay.
And because of that, um, because we see images faster than we see words, the images have to convey the message and do a lot of the heavy lifting. Okay. So let's just assume I couldn't read. If I came here, then it's great. It looks very relaxing, but it's ambiguous at the same time. Like, it's not
Okay.
very clear to me who you help. Am I in the right place? Right. And
Got it.
it could even, your tagline could be, "I help people get to the root cause of their chronic digestive issues."
Hmm.
Right. And then an image of somebody who's your ideal client experiencing, like, eating a healthy meal at their favorite restaurant, right? That would be the image. I would want to, potentially to see, or that would
Okay.
convey to me that, hey, you help people with eating healthier and better and functioning better.
Okay.
The other thing to keep in mind is as we go through this, and thanks for being so coachable, is that the newsletter sign up at the top
Hmm.
here, I would encourage that to be like if you had a main call to action and you wanted everyone to take it, it would probably be to book a discovery call,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
that's kind of buried over here, and
Okay.
you also have your header menu is like very busy,
Okay.
so it almost like it's overwhelming. I don't know
Okay.
where to go, right?
Okay.
And so it do I go to coaching? Do I go to wellness resources? Do I go to the blog? Do I contact you? There's for me there's just too much going on.
Okay.
We want to keep your header menu as clean as possible.
Okay.
So, some of these and you can talk to your IT person or your web
Hmm.
developer, but some of these can go underneath, right? So
Okay.
you can put under about you can put wellness resources or
Okay.
recipe guides. Like you can see
Got
if
it.
you can consolidate these things so that
Okay.
it's when you give people too many choices, they get overwhelmed. And when they get overwhelmed, they usually don't do anything.
They
That's
leave.
yeah. So I would do that. And then
Okay.
looking at your website here, you don't have to run Facebook ads to have a Facebook pixel. So
Okay.
you might talk to your web developer or whoever is helping you manage that side of things
Uh-huh.
to see if they can install a Facebook pixel, because what
A
the
Facebook
Facebook pixel
pixel.
will do,
Okay.
it will anyone who comes on this page. So let's say I'm on this page now, um, you won't know that it's me, but you'll be able to retarget me with ads, whether it's now or at some point in the future. You could tell Facebook, hey, anyone who has this pixel, run this ad to them, right?
Okay.
So then now instead of having to like try to randomly find me on social media or that hoping the algorithm finds me having been on your website before, it'll come right to me. And then you're significantly lowers your advertising costs.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. As we come down here, um, okay. So I think that image of you is great. I would probably put a welcome message that says, well, welcome, I'm Rebecca, so that I
Okay.
know that this is you, because it says your name up here, but it
Okay.
doesn't necessarily like verify. I mean, it's you. I know it's you because I know you now. But
Got it.
if you were to, kind of create a warm greeting message, then, just put your name in there so that
Okay.
people know exactly who they are. And then you've got this here. Is this clickable? Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to send you a website audit. Okay. I'll
Okay.
pull it up right now. And this is a homepage audit, and we can go through it really quickly because this will help you kind of improve and optimize and just kind of objectively assess if your website has fulfills the criteria. So when we look at the top section of your website, we want to see. Let me zoom in here. The criteria we look for in the top section is a headline, a subheadline, supporting imagery, a call to action immediately, and a clear answer to questions. Who is this for? What problem does this solve? And what do I want to do next? Right.
So
So
that's a
that's
no.
so it's
Okay.
probably like
A
maybe
one.
somewhere in here, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
we'll judge that, right? And then imagery. The
Okay.
main image positions the customer as the hero and clearly demonstrates the ideal after of the target market.
Okay.
So again,
Does
room for
not.
improvement there.
Hmm. Yeah.
The top menu, the logo is visible. Navigation is limited to the bare essentials, and the primary call to action holds a prominent position on the top right of the
Okay.
page.
Okay.
So if
We
we
went
go
over
back to your
that.
page, we want to put the schedule now or schedule a complimentary
Right.
consultation up there.
Okay.
Call to action. So the page maintains a consistent primary and secondary call to action and repeats these calls to action multiple times. So in your case, if we go back to it, there was a lot going on. And the
Hmm.
primary call to action, which is to schedule an appointment, that wasn't necessarily highlighted because you had you had a few things going on. You had buttons
Mhm.
to learn more about you. You had the wellness resources, testimonials, coaching services, and contact information. And then you had, I guess this is a contact us section on the page, but it doesn't really tell me like, why am I contacting you? Right? What
Okay.
am I contacting you for? Am I contacting you
Okay.
to schedule an appointment? Am I contacting you with questions? What is this leading me to? So we
Okay.
want to, like, sometimes it, and I again, I know that, um, I acknowledge you for being coachable, so I appreciate you for that. Sometimes it's always good to have a new set of eyes on our
Oh,
website
absolutely.
or on our products, because then when we see it, we kind of assume that everyone else kind of gets what we're trying to say, but
Mhm.
it may not always come across that way. And then the
Mhm.
body, so the text, images, and video clear and or video clearly and succinctly expand on how the product services work, who will benefit, what the visitor needs to do next, and the sections are clearly labeled and the copy is compelling and persuasive. So I think there's some room for improvement there.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
trust is, impressive logos from existing customers are featured prominently on the page, and additional customers and quotes are either visible or immediately accessible from the homepage. So you do have testimonials there, which is great. I might even unpack some of them so that you can see
Mhm.
them right on the page. So
Okay.
when I come there, it builds authority, right? And then the footer, I think you've nailed the footer. So you've got all the important essential information, and you've got the
Mhm.
contact us terms and policy. The footer also serves as a directory of some of your flagship content. So, um, I would say let's give you a 4 there. So these are the sections.
Woohoo!
So these are the sections that I would say need a little bit of work.
Yep.
And that'll get
Okay.
your homepage doing some more heavy lifting for you. So let me show you a little
Okay.
bit more. I'll show you ours.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it'll show you how we check off some of the boxes. So if we let me pull it up here, 1 second. Okay, so you can see that the header
Mhm.
menu is very clean, right? So
Mhm.
and the buttons change color when you
Mhm.
navigate over them, so it's easy to see what I'm clicking on.
Okay.
You can see that the discovery call, which is our main call to action, that is prominent and it's a different color and it pops, right? Our
Mhm.
message is master your metabolism, discover a holistic root cause approach to healthy weight loss, balanced hormones, and vibrant energy. So we can check that off. We've got some clients that we've worked with, so that kind of
Mhm.
builds authority for us. Here's our morning routine. So there's a quick call to action where people
Okay.
can get additional information, and the download is directly correlated to helping them lose weight. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
Uh, Here's a little welcome message from us. So it's kind of like a personal message, right? Greetings, fellow health
Mhm.
seeker. And then there's a message in here for you and for them. And then all of our names are listed. So there's a picture of each of us, and then our names are listed here as well. And then here's like a differentiating factor, right? So we take a root cause
Mhm.
approach to metabolic health. These are the different and various areas that our program covers, so that it's easy for people to see. Okay, this is the process that I'm going to go
Okay.
through. Here's some testimonials of our happy clients. So the testimonials are front and center, and then
Mhm.
what we do is we pull out kind of one liners
Mhm.
from the interview, so that people get a chance to see, um, you know like this is the highlight, right? So there's kind of a testimonial video for them to go deeper, and then there's obviously a one liner so people can see exactly what it says. And then there's a message on discover how to work with us, and then we have our featured post in here as well,
Okay.
and then some more social proof. So we've got, we've been in business since 2011. We've got over 100,000 community members, 5-star reviews, and then there's a little bar here of Google reviews that are kind of popping around, and then we've got our lead magnet at the bottom, and
Yeah.
then
Okay.
our footer at the bottom as well.
Okay.
So if you kind of use this as a
Yeah.
reference, and we go back to kind of that checklist that I'll be happy to share with you,
That'd
then
be great.
you can see that this does some heavy lifting, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
It kind of checks off all the boxes. Like, if you're trying to get your metabolism dialed in, you're in the right place. Here's some credibility with other companies that trust us. Here's like a free download and lead magnet for you. Here's our team that's going to be working with you. Here's our process. It's hopefully clear. Here's our what our happy clients have to say. Here's how you work with us. Here's some featured articles, and then here's again some authority building and trust building. So
Okay.
that's, you know, again, I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it checks off a lot more of those boxes, and that's
Yeah.
what you're going to want to, you know, if you're sending people, especially to your homepage, then you're just going to want to make sure that it's doing that for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense. Yep.
And you can see like the imagery that we use, our target audience is mainly women, right? So
Hmm.
we've got women. So even on a page like yours, like um, I'd want to be able to see that you help people with gut issues,
Okay.
right? And so here you can see that the like clearly that this article is going to be about gut health, right? So the images are going to match the text that goes along with it. Okay.
Perfect.
Um, so I think those are some relatively simple things that you can
Yeah.
improve and kind of get dialed in. And then
Hmm.
I think the other thing is, you know, even as you're doing that, so in parallel to doing that, you can get some Google reviews. So the people that
Hmm.
wrote you a review, let's get your Google page updated and let's see if they can
Got it.
write you some reviews. And then the I guess the other thing that's coming up for me is I don't have visuals on the ad that you're running in the magazine, but that could be an opportunity to, you know, I don't know if that's something that you're going to be doing ongoing or if that's just a one-time thing.
It probably not. Well, I had to sign for a year,
Okay.
and that year is up in August or September. I think 1st of
Okay.
September.
Are you able to
Um,
modify the ad or does it have to stay the
yes,
same?
yes, I can modify it. Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know if you have a copy of it handy, but if you send that to me, I can always take a look at it later and give you
Okay.
some feedback because that can potentially do some heavy lifting for you depending on what the messaging says.
Let
And,
me
you
see if
know,
I
I don't know
can.
if you have a QR code in there, but that
I
could be
don't
something.
think so. Let me see if my
Okay.
new ad's in this one. Oh, yes, I have it right here, actually. Okay. Said, tired of quick fixes that don't last. It's time to embrace a new root cause approach to your health and wellness. Say goodbye to fad diets and quick fixes, uncover the root causes of your health concerns, learn how to use food as medicine, and reclaim your energy. Stop living on the sidelines and make this the year you finally say yes to life again. So that's my,
Okay. And then can I see it?
yeah, let's see if we can,
Okay. Awesome. So here's, thank you for sharing that. So see the person
yeah,
next to you, how they have a QR code,
yep.
right?
You picked that up in 2 seconds. Yes,
So,
yep.
so the
Okay.
QR code is something where if you share a free resource with people,
Uh-huh.
right, they're
Okay.
able to learn a little bit more about you, right? And that QR code
Perfect.
can get them on your newsletter. The QR code
Okay.
can be a 1 week meal plan. It could be a morning routine. But
Okay.
the other thing I want you to pay attention to is that, you know, you've been mentioning that you want to help people with gut health, but
Mm-hmm.
but your message is very vague.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
you know, 70% of Americans are struggling with some sort of GI issue.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no shortage of people that are looking specifically for a gut health resolution.
Okay.
So I know it's tempting to try to help everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but when you try to help everybody, you help nobody.
Yeah.
We want people to
That's been
read
a
the
problem
ad.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we want people, and it's not just you, you're not alone. We want people to be like, oh my God, that's for me.
Yeah.
Right. So it might say, are you tired of being accused of being pregnant? Right. Or are you tired of feeling bloated?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like that's a very specific problem that a lot of people struggle with. Right. And already it's more specific.
Okay.
Right. Are you sick and tired of feeling bloated all the time? Are you unsure of what to eat anymore? Are
Mm-hmm.
you starting to give up on your doctors because they're not able to help you? Right. Or they're not giving you answers. Right. And then you
Mm-hmm.
might say, well, I've struggled for many years with bloating. And it wasn't until I discovered the underlying root cause of my chronic digestive issues that I finally found answers again, or that I finally found answers and I could feel good
Mm-hmm.
again. I know exactly what to eat. And I've restored my gut health, right? So
Hmm.
as my gift to you, I've put together a free guide that shows you the most common foods that cause chronic bloating. Click on the QR code to download it, right? And then that takes them to, that guide or
Okay.
somewhere where they'd enter their information, name and email.
Okay.
There's something I want to share with you that I think will be helpful for our audience as well. And it's called the SAFER process. So let me pull it up on my iPad here. Are you finding this helpful, Rebecca?
Extremely. Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So it's called the SAFER process, and this comes from my friend Simon Bowen. And so one of the first things that we have to keep in mind is that nobody wants to know, wants you to know that they're unwell, right?
Mhm.
It's like, people unfortunately struggle in silence. And
Yes.
because they struggle in silence, they never get the answers that they're looking for. So the first thing, and I'm just going to use letters here, the first thing is people raise their hand in anonymity. Okay,
Mhm.
so the A stands for anonymity. They don't want you to know that they have this problem. They have this problem, but they don't want anyone to know they have this problem. And that's where a lead magnet can be great, right? That's
Mhm.
where getting them to
Right.
your homepage or to an article that you've written and pixeling them can be great because now you know they have this problem and they know they have this problem, and there's some next steps that can be taken. The next is power in numbers. So I'm just going to put pin.
Mhm.
So there's really like safety in numbers and power in numbers. And so when you've got people that are now on your list of a very specific opt-in to stop bloating, well, hey, join my Beat the Bloat group, right? Or join my Beat the Bloat webinar that I'm hosting,
Mhm.
right? So now they don't feel like they're the only person with this problem, and they're still somewhat anonymous, and they can have their camera on or off. They can ask questions
Mhm.
or not, or listen in the background. So they still are feeling safe, right? So creating customer safety is very important. The next part here is process. So, what is your process? And so on your webinar, you're going to share your process. Here's the
Okay.
7-step method, or here's the 3-step process that
Mhm.
I've developed that helped me eliminate my bloating and has helped many others. And I'm just using bloating as an example since
Yeah.
we're talking
Yeah.
about it. And then the next step is space. Okay. So space is under the awareness and understanding that people buy when they're ready. People unfortunately wait probably too long, in my opinion, when it comes
Yeah.
to their health, but they buy when they're ready. So
Mhm.
we just have to be patient, and the customer buys when they're ready. It's our job to stay ready. Okay, so that's the little fill in the blank here is ready. And then the last step after space is the sale, right? And really it's advisorship. So what I tell people, and my friend Kevin Donnie, who taught me this, is that you never want to get on a sales call with somebody. You want to get on an advisor call. Okay. And advisorship call. So the positioning of this in your mind is also different. And the positioning in their mind is also different. When somebody gets on a sales, what they perceive as a sales call, and it's perceived as a sales call unless we call it something else,
Mhm.
right? Then they perceive you as somebody trying to get them to do something. Whereas if it's an advisorship call, then you're advising them, and it's almost like you're sitting on the other side of the desk with them and consulting them and advising them on what's best for them. So an advisor does a few things. It tells a person what's not good for them, and it also tells somebody what is good for them, right? So part of that consultation process when you get on a call with somebody is letting them know, listen, I don't know if this is the right thing for you, right? I'm going to listen. I'm going to try to extract as much information during our time together as I can. I'm going to advise you on what those next steps are going to be. And if working together is the right next step, you'll know. And if it isn't the right next step, you'll also know. Right. So when you're on an advisorship call, then the energy is totally different. So I'll give you an example. If you ever go buy a car, right, you could spec out every feature on the car, but you're more likely to trust a car salesman or an advisor, purchase advisor, if you were, if they were sitting there telling you what not to buy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if they were to say,
Yeah.
"Hey, do you want the floor mats or $400?" Or you'll say, "Oh, let me get the floor mats or $400." And if they said, "You know what? I got a great guy, or you can buy these on Amazon and they're half the price," right? Now I see that they're on my side,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I
Yeah.
automatically trust them. So then now anything that they say, I'm going to trust them even more. And we don't do this to be manipulative. We do this because it's the right thing to do, right? So, you know, that's a whole different conversation on how to do a
Mm-hmm.
discovery call, but that just kind of gives you an idea. So, this is the journey that we want our clients to go on, right? We want them to go from feeling anonymous to power numbers to learning our process to giving them space to then advising them on what those next steps would be. Okay.
Makes sense. Yes.
Awesome. So I think I've given you a lot to chew on, some good
I've got a
action
lot of
steps.
homework, but it's
uh,
great because these are things that I hadn't, I'm all, oh, let me create the content. Let me create the lead magnet. That's great. I create all these things, but if nobody's seeing them, what's the point?
yeah. So one thing to
Yeah.
remember, and we've all been there. So, you know, you're not alone. One thing to remember is that psychology is more important than technology. So understanding the human psychology, which never changes, that's what you want to like double click on and double down on. Uh, because otherwise it's going to feel like you're doing a lot of work, but you're not getting a lot of traction.
That's what I
So
feel like right now.
so
Okay.
so I see that your intention is pure. I see that, you know, you're willing to do the work, right? You've obviously invested in your business and your practice up to this point, and you've taken people and you've gotten great results with them. And now it's just a matter of like, okay, how do we dial in the messaging and get clear with the messaging so that we can turn this into the business that you want it to be and you
Right.
can have the impact that you want to have.
Right. Yeah.